Tension simmers as protests erupt in parts of Kano over dissolution of Emirates. 1 dead, 5 rescued as mosque collapse in Lagos. Federal government sues 36 states over council's autonomy. And on the international scene, Burkina Faso junta extends transition term by 5 years. Very good evening and welcome to the news hour on Trust TV. I'm Sagir Ibrahim. Protests erupted in some parts of Kano on Sunday over the state government's reinstatement of Muhammadu Sanusi II as the Emir of Kano. In Gaya and Nasarawa, where the protests took place, residents poured into the streets to register their grievances over Sanusi's reinstatement. Residents of Gaya protested against the dissolution of the Gaya Emirate by the state government. Gaya Emirate is among the Emirate councils recently dissolved by the Kano state government after the Kano Emirates Council Law of 2019 was amended. The new law, enacted by the new Nigeria People's Party, the NNPP-controlled House of Assembly, undid the law that former Governor Abdullahi Ganduje used in 2020 to create the additional Emirates and dethrone the Sanusi II as the 14th Emir of Kano. The dissolution of the Emirate councils was finalized when Governor Abba Yusuf signed the amendment bill into law on Thursday and ordered the emirs of the affected emirates, including Aliyu Ibrahim Abdul Qadir, Emir of Gaya, to hand over to Deputy Governor Abdul Salam Gorzo. Gorzo oversees the Ministry of Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs. Residents reported that the dethroned emir vacated the palace at midnight on Thursday with no immediate signs of violence or resistance. Armed security personnel were present in the town maintaining order. And joining us via telephone is Media Trust Bureau Chief in Kano, Ahmed Dati. Good evening, Ahmed. Welcome to the news hour. So earlier we spoke about Gaya, now Nasarawa. Give us a sense of the situation there. Yes, we saw sites of some sort of bonfire, or do I say fire set on some parts of the road. Did this escalate to any situation leading to the breakdown of law and order?
Good evening and thank you, Sergeant. I will say probably the protests in Gaya may have triggered the one at Nasarawa, but it's actually restricted to the mini palace. The mini palace is very close to government house, and so it was just around the mini palace that the protest took place. It has not gone beyond that area, and within minutes the protest ended, and then people continue staying outside or in front of the palace where armed security men were stationed.
Ahmed, we can see from the videos that were sent to the office emphatic statements calling on Mr. President that they want the deposed Emir Aminu Ado Bayero instead of Sanusi, who has now been handed his staff of office. Do you see this in any situation leading to some sort of counter-protest by supporters of the newly reinstated Emir?
Like I said, the protests were largely restricted. Of course, you had protests in Gaya and then the special prayers. Actually, the tense atmosphere is around the palaces. You know, the Emir's Palace in the ancient city, you see quite a number of local hunters, guarding the palace. And then at the Nasarawa Palace, you see armed military personnel, police personnel, as well as civil defense, and even DSS also operatives, keeping guards at the palace. So the protests are restricted, to these areas. If you go to other areas, you hardly see, people don't really care what is happening at the palaces.
Okay, so aside the presence of heavy security, which is clearly depicted in the video, we also saw some sort of special prayer going on. Can you shed some light on the prayer session?
Yeah, these are prayers held by, probably offered by people, sympathetic to maybe the deposed emirs. And they are like maybe seeking divine intervention, or to probably salvate them from the current situation. So basically, the prayers were conducted by people, maybe admirers of the emirs that were deposed, as the case may be.
All right, Ahmed Detti, Media Trust Bureau Chief Northwest. Thank you so much for the update. Definitely, we'll touch base with you as they develop. However, continue to observe the situation, but from a safe distance.
Thank you very much, Sagar.
Yes, and meanwhile, former Emir of Gaya, Aliyu Ibrahim Abdul Qadir, says he has accepted his removal as an act of God. The former Emir is among the 5 first-class kings who were affected by the repeal of the law which balkanized Kano Emirate and elevated them. Ex-Governor Abdullahi Ganduje had appointed new emirs in 2019 and dethroned Alhaji Muhammadu Sanusi as Emir of Kano the following year. But after signing the new law on Thursday, Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf sacked all the emirs appointed by Ganduje, giving them 48 hours to vacate their palaces and hand over to the Commissioner of Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs. Reacting to the action of the governor in an interview with the BBC Hausa, the dethroned monarch said he bore no grudge against anybody. He added that he had no plan to challenge the action in court and was ready to serve in another capacity if given the opportunity. And 1 person died and 5 others were rescued from the rubble of a collapsed mosque in the Papa Ajao area of Mushin, Lagos State on Sunday. The permanent secretary of Lagos Emergency Management Agency, LASEMA, Femi Osanyi Tolu, in a statement said the mosque located on Yusuf Street off Ladipo Road, Papa Ajao, collapsed while prayers was ongoing. He said that search and rescue operations were taking place under his supervision. The LASEMA permanent secretary listed other emergency responders at the scene to include the police, Lagos State Ambulance Service and Lagos State Fire Service. Photos and videos of the incident on social media captured the mosque in rubbles, with residents of the area milling around trying to help with rescue efforts. The incident adds to the long list of building collapses in Nigeria's commercial capital. Experts have blamed the use of substandard materials and incompetence, among others, for the continued cases of building collapse.
A lot of life must have been lost.
The police command in Kogi on Sunday confirmed the killing of 2 of the abducted students of Confluence University of Science and Technology, Costa Kosara. The State Police Commissioner Bertrand Onoha disclosed this when he spoke with newsmen in Lokoja. Onoha described the killing by their abductors as very unfortunate. The CP, who did not, however, give details of the killing, said the security operatives were on the trail of the abductors to bring them to book. Recall that abductors invaded the school around 9 p.m. on May 9th while the students were studying in their classes ahead of the examinations slated for May 13th and abducted some students after shooting sporadically in the air. Although security agencies had rescued 21 of the abducted students with the help of local hunters, a few were still in the hands of the abductors. Still in security, suspected bandits have kidnapped a driver and 3 other passengers who were traveling to Irun Akoko in Akoko North West local government area of Ondo State. The travelers were abducted on Saturday while en route to Irun through Imesi town a close border community with Ekiti and Ondo states. Reports say the victims were mostly residents of Irun and Ikare Akoko who were returning home after a function. Although details about the kidnap case were still sketchy, it was, however, learned that joint security operatives have swung into action and are currently combing the bush for their release. The police public relations officer in the state, Fumilayo Odunlami, said she is yet to be briefed about the case as at the time the report was filed. But confirming the incident, the Ondo commander of the Amotekun Corps, Adetunji Adeleye, said his men are on the trail of the bandits. And parts of the Kaduna-Abuja train derailed on Sunday morning around Jere, raising concerns about possible attacks by insurgents. Reports, however, said the situation was brought under control by technicians who quickly disengaged the part and realigned the train. It was gathered that troops of the Nigerian army swiftly arrived at the scene to aid policemen attached to the train security, passengers, and the coaches. Passengers were pleased with the presence of security agencies, a situation that restored confidence and allayed fears of the unknown. And residents of Bauchi State have again appealed to the federal government to look inward and come up with modalities to address the multiple challenges bedeviling the country, especially the cost of foodstuff. Trust TV's Adamu Imam in this report examines how some people struggle to stave off hunger in the midst of a troubled economy. Take a look.
The economic reality is hitting hard on Nigerians who are struggling to feed members of their family since the removal of fuel subsidy last year. Malam Shehu, a retired civil servant, explained his current experience in the area of food prices.
Please, I reappealed. Our leaders should fear God and do what is right to salvage this country. Today, price of maize is 700 to 800 naira. This maize you see, I bought it 800 naira per measure, and almost over 17 people on my body waiting for me at home. For just 2 measures, I'm on the queue for over 1 hour to get grinded before going back home.
Shehu noted that the hardship has spared no one as hunger does not segregate, affirming that they are tired of looking forward to a leadership that will tackle Nigeria's problems head-on.
I have not decided. Even they would bring ballot box to my doorstep, I will not participate in any elections to elect our leaders. This is not the first I witnessed election since the era of President Shehu Shagari. Nothing has changed. The good of the masses. I engaged in farming, but only yesterday is better than today in this country.
Yes, we are suffering. We are feeling the heat because our husbands don't have so much. They are always struggling to ensure that the family eats. Now we have joined the search for food so that everyone can survive.
We always strive to satisfy our customers, but you cannot predict people. We always advise them to look after their grains while on queue. Electricity supply here is nothing to write home about. Honestly, things are not easy.
They, however, appeal that while government is working out modalities for long-term solutions, short-term measures like palliative distribution will help ordinary Nigerians in the meantime. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
President Bola Tinubu has urged Nigerians to remain patient amid the current economic hardship, assuring them that this temporary sacrifice will soon end. Speaking at the 60th anniversary celebration parade of the Nigerian Air Force in Kaduna, the president pledged continued support for modernizing the NAF's capabilities to enhance national security. He highlighted the federal government's substantial investment in state-of-the-art multi-role combat helicopters and other platforms to boost the NAF's effectiveness. Commending the aerial display and combat readiness of NAF personnel, Tinubu noted their dedication to duty and reiterated that security is a top priority for his administration, as development cannot thrive in an unsecured environment. He emphasized the need to adopt a societal approach to understand and also address contemporary security challenges. Tinubu congratulated the NAF on its 60th anniversary and prayed for the repose of the souls of those who paid the supreme price in service to the nation, reaffirming his commitment to supporting the NAF and the armed forces in the quest for peace and security. And in Katsina State, a special school has opened its doors to children displaced by banditry and the pandemic. UNICEF estimates there are over 536,000 out-of-school children in the state alone. But for these students, this unconventional school offers not just a chance to rebuild their lives, but access to education for the very first time. Jamilu Mabai takes us inside this unique learning environment where dedicated teachers and innovative methods are helping displaced children heal, learn, and dream of a brighter future.
This is a special school, and it has opened its doors to displaced children, offering them a chance to not only rebuild their lives, but also access education for the very first time. The United Nations Children's Fund stated that there are no fewer than 132 out-of-school children in Katsina State due to banditry and COVID-19. These children, robbed of their homes and normalcy, are now finding solace and purpose within the walls of this unconventional school. Here, learning takes place in vibrant clusters, each one brimming with energy and guided by a dedicated volunteer teacher.
We had a girl that she has never been to school, but this 9-month training has given her a way how to read and write, to speak English and write English. The method that we are taking to practice how to write and how to read.
For many of these children, this is their first chance to step into a classroom. Others have had their education disrupted, leaving them behind.
But just group by group, so just 6 at a time are moving.
Teachers here have developed special skills to address the unique needs of these displaced youngsters. For instance, this is an English library, a testament to their creativity.
Looking at microscopes to understand how creatures are formed and their structures, and also writing their own books as well, and also the numeracy, the way that it's being taught. It's a very innovative way that they've been doing that in terms of using the measuring tape, and also just their writing skills, and also understanding the very basics of how to communicate, whether it's in English or in Hausa, and also how to read and write in both languages.
But this program isn't just about academics, it's about addressing their basic needs. By providing them with breakfast and lunch, the school is alleviating the burden of hunger, allowing them to focus on learning and growth.
So they are happy with it because some of the children, they don't have breakfast in the house, and they are not sure of the lunch. So they are being catered here. It will provide them with the uniforms, with the writing materials and everything. Not a single kobo is taken from anyone.
For the first time in Katsina, children living in IDP camps have found a place where they can heal, learn, and dream of a brighter future. Jamil Mabai, Trust TV, Katsina.
And still in Katsina, Governor D3ad of Katsina has pledged to restore the state to its former status as the educational hub of northern Nigeria. He made this commitment during the 9th to 13th combined convocation ceremony of Umaru Musa Yar'Adua University in Katsina. Abdullah Yamadi tells us more.
Governor Rada vowed to transform Umaru Musa Yar'Adua University into a premier center for learning, research, innovation, and entrepreneurship in Nigeria. He promised to achieve this through substantial investment in infrastructure and manpower development, affirming his administration's commitment to revitalizing the education sector.
It will be out of place to begin my address without acknowledging the foresight and the vision of the late President Umaru Musa Yar'Adua, who, as the then governor, saw it that this magnificent edifice come to life. posterity will continue to be favorable to him and to his successors for sustaining this legacy.
Umar Musa Yar'Adua University presented over 10,868 students for the award of bachelor's degrees, postgraduate diplomas, master's degrees, and PhDs. The Vice Chancellor, Professor Salis Muhammad, announced that the university plans to introduce skills-driven undergraduate and postgraduate programs in the near future to help address the issue of unemployment among Nigerian youth.
On behalf of the Senate, staff, and students of the university, I heartily congratulate the awardees. We pray to Allah to extend their lives in good health, even as we pray for the repose of the souls of the two departed recipients.
Similarly, the Chancellor of the University Wazir in Katsina, Senator Ibrahim Ida, expressed gratitude to the founding fathers for establishing the institution, which has significantly impacted not only Katsina, but the northern states as a whole.
I am committed to academic excellence, whereby the institution will foster an environment where intellectual curiosity will know no bounds, and diverse views and new knowledge will continue to be embraced.
The Pro-Chancellor and Chairman of the Governing Council of the University, Abdullahi Faskari, stated that the institution has successfully graduated well-trained and principled individuals who are significantly contributing to the development of both Katsina State and Nigeria as a whole. The university conferred honorary doctorate degrees on Senator Ibrahim Ida, former governors Saidu Barda and Aminu Masari, along with other distinguished personalities. Abdullahi Izuma Yamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
And away from Katsina, the administration of criminal justice with its relevant provisions aims at ensuring that the criminal justice system alongside its institutions is efficiently managed, that the society, in this context, Lagos, is safe. The responsibility of the criminal justice system is not only to swiftly dispense justice, but also to uphold the rights and interests of suspects, defendants, and victims of crime. In this report, Trust TV's Victoria Tokolo takes a look at these issues and gives perspective on the involvement of the police in the entire process. Her report is here presented.
The right to arrest, investigate and inquire into any suspect or defendant alleged or charged with committing an offense by the law is part of the cardinal duties of the police. However, such powers must be exercised in such a manner that takes into consideration the fundamental right to personal liberty. This is the position of legal practitioner who spoke with Trust Television.
The law is that while a statement of the suspect is being taken, the suspect is entitled to a lawyer of his own choice. And while making the statement also, there has to be video recording so that all what is happening at the time and at the point whereby the suspect is taking the statement, they will be fully or lawfully represented by a legal practitioner of his own choice. If he could not produce, there is an arm of the legal department that provide for office of public defendants.
The whole principle of law in Nigeria is guided by the principle of equity, and he who wants to come to equity must be willing and ready to do equity. So upon a particular arrest, the so-called defendant or the suspect rather must be accorded all the rights that the law of the land granted. Do you understand? By virtue of the Constitution of Nigeria, 1999 for that matter, you have the right to a legal representation upon arrest. And if that one is not on ground, then the family member should be around whenever a statement is to be taken.
While the criminal justice system also ensures that the police officer making an arrest must inform the suspect of the right to remain silent, It also places a burden on the police to inform people under arrest of the right to legal representation of their choice before getting them to make any statement and or answer any questions.
The law is to vitiate the statement of the defendant. If the police violates this law, the defendant has the right to deny the statement, saying that he was taken under duress.
This has a duty also to let the suspect know that while you are coming to the police station, you should come with a lawyer. There are some very serious police formations that usually will tell the suspects, while you are coming, please come with your lawyer. And that's the right thing to do, so that the suspect does not put down in the statement what will ordinarily implicate him.
The ACJA also requires that the police notify the next of kin or a relative of the suspect of an arrest at no cost to the suspect.
Watching the news hour on Trust TV coming up shortly. Celebrating cultural heritage through historical relics and symbols. More on Ilobu's rich cultural history after the break. Thanks for staying with the news hour on Trust TV. Now recap of the headlines again. Tension simmers as protests erupt in parts of Kano over dissolution of Emirates. And 1 dead, 5 rescued as mosque collapses in Lagos. Moving on, the federal government has filed a lawsuit against the 36 state governors at the Supreme Court to ensure local government autonomy. The suit was filed on by Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Lateef Fagbemi, SAN. The federal government seeking an order prohibiting governors from unlawfully dissolving democratically elected local government leaders. It also requests that local government funds be directly allocated from the Federation account by passing the joint accounts allegedly created by governors. Additionally, the federal government is asking the Supreme Court to stop governors from appointing caretaker committees to manage local governments, insisting on adherence to the constitutionally guaranteed democratic system. Furthermore, it seeks an injunction preventing governors and their agents from handling funds meant for local governments when no democratically elected local government system is in place. Now, one of the major attributes of most ancient Yoruba towns in the southwest of Nigeria is their ability to protect their territory against external aggression. As part of ways to keep their memories of their sacrifices, palaces of Yoruba traditional rulers are adorned with statues of warriors. Hamid Oyegbade in this report takes a look at one of the statues at the palace of the Olobu of Ilobu. Let's take a look.
Apart from their roles as custodians of Yoruba culture and tradition, many Yoruba traditional rulers were warriors. The founder of Ilobu town, headquarters of Irekpodun local government area of Osun State, Laarosin fought gallantly during the Fulani invasion of Yoruba land and conquered. The Erinle River, popularly known as Ojutu, is one of the defense mechanisms of Ilobu, helping the town to defeat enemies.
Ojutu River is very important to Ilobu community, and that is why we call it River in Erinle. And that is why the spirit of Erinle is worshipped annually during the Erinle festival. That is how important Erinle is.
This is Laarosin. You can see him physically. Look at his gun. See him physically. Look at how he dressed. He's a warrior. He assisted Yoruba community during Fulani War, and we conquered.
The statue of Laarosin is one of the relics of history at the palace of Olobu of Ilobu, Oba Ashiru Olaniyan Olatoye. Indigents say Ilobu witnessed tremendous growth and development in the 50-year reign of Oba Ashiru Olatoye Olaniyan.
God has blessed Ilobu with a natural defense structure. Ilobu is never an aggressor.
In fact, that's part of the foundational process of Tinubu, that we don't go out of our way to attack people. But if anybody raise hand against us, God has divinely provided the protection, and that has been working. Even the recent issues that we experienced, you can testify to it. We were not the first attacker, but anybody that raised up hand of aggression, God has divinely provided protection for us, and it has never failed.
Indigenes here have committed themselves to the task of continually cooperating with the leadership in order to take the town to greater heights. Amid Oyegbade, reporting for Trust TV.
And also, operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, the NDLEA, have arrested a 48-year-old Paris-bound businessman, Emmanuel Okechukwu Ojinze, for ingesting 111 wraps of cocaine. Ojinze, who later excreted the illicit substance after days of observation in the agency's custody, was arrested at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja. Okechukwu, who also claims he is a professional footballer in Europe, was arrested on Tuesday, 21st May, during the outward clearance of Air France flight AF 878 from Abuja to Paris, France. A statement issued by Femi Babafemi, NDLEA Director, Media and Advocacy, on Sunday said after a body scan confirmed he ingested illicit drugs, he was taken into custody where he excreted a total of 111 pellets of cocaine that weighed 1.603 kilograms over a period of 3 days. The suspect claimed he does business in the maritime sector while still scouting for any European football club to engage him. And in the northwest, the Jigawa State Police Command has announced the arrest of 92 suspects in connection with various crimes, including kidnapping, fraud, vandalism, motorcycle theft and drug peddling, according to Command's Public Relations Officer DSP Lawan Shisu Adam. The arrests were made between May 1st and 15th, 2024, during raids conducted at various black spots and criminal hideouts across the state. The suspects include 2 suspected kidnappers, 3 suspected fraudsters, 2 motorcycle thieves, a suspected vandal, and 85 drug peddlers and also abusers. The police also recovered 2 motorcycles, counterfeit currencies, vandalized cable wires and illicit drugs, including Indian hemp, tramadol and other substances. The command spokesman said all the suspects will be arraigned in court and made to face the full force of the law after a comprehensive investigation at the State Criminal Investigations Department, DUSE. Still in Jigawa, Governor Umar Namadi has initiated the construction of the permanent site for the College of Nursing Sciences and Midwifery in Hadejia. The move is part of efforts geared towards providing an opportunity for indigenes of the state to access quality education, especially in the health sector. Take a look.
Governor Namadi explained that establishing the college aligns with the administration's 12-point agenda, which aims to train sufficient medical professionals to meet the healthcare needs of the state's 7.5 million population. Additionally, placing the college in Hadejia ensures a balanced distribution of tertiary institutions across the state.
One of the cardinal objectives that underpin our development agenda is the strengthening of the state health sector to ensure access to functional, qualitative, and affordable healthcare services at all levels throughout the state. Critical in this regard is the adequate supply of human resource for health in the right mix of quality across all categories. This underscores the significance of establishing the health training institution for production of nurses and midwives.
The State Health Commissioner emphasized that such projects signifies a statewide shift towards prioritizing outcomes and impact over processes and outputs. This approach focuses on result-oriented and evidence-based methods in healthcare policy and the implementation of health intervention programs.
His Excellency has initiated about 20 new projects, which include this establishment of the permanent site of the College of Nursing and Midwifery Hadejia, the provision of solar power to Kazaure, Barbara, Hadeja, Gumel, Gabring Hausa, Tuze, Waram, Kirika Sama, and Gagana General Hospital. His Excellency has given approval for the reactivation of the dialysis center in Hadeja and Gumel General Hospital and establishment of new dialysis center in Duze, Ringim, and Kadaura General Hospital.
Jama'a muna ƙara jan hankalinku.
This school is not only built for the people of Hadeja, but for everyone in Jigawa State and the country as a whole. Therefore, everyone is free to come and study nursing in this school because it will be for the benefit of our community. The construction of this permanent site of the College of Nursing and Midwifery in Hadeja will be a boost not only for education but also for the economy of the community.
And in the northeast, the Borno State Governor Babagana Zulum has pledged to collaborate with the University of Maiduguri to boost local revenue through agriculture and aquaculture, among others. He revealed this during a public lecture in honor of the outgoing Vice-Chancellor of the University of Maiduguri. Governor Zulum also promised to establish housing estates for the institution and to tackle the challenges of electricity and other basic amenities in the university. Zulum lauded the outgoing Vice-Chancellor Aliyu Shugaba for the number of infrastructure and academic projects established despite the notable challenges confronting the institution.
People don't know. When I was director of one of the technical, I suggested in national development. Poultry. People are saying there's no more, especially aquaculture. Land is not a limited factor in the university. I think we can go. That means its environment is also secure. If we are prudent enough with 1 billion naira, we can generate more revenue. And I'm ready to partner with the university. Apart from our existing Center for Entrepreneurship and Enterprise Development, we have also secured a donation in terms of a building worth over 1 billion naira from the chairman of BOA. And that is opening up a whole lot of channels of collaboration with the university.
And residents of Benue State have been reacting to the performance of the state governor Hyacinth Alia 1 year after taking over the reins of power. He was among those sworn in on the 29th of May 2023. Jimmy Adzande from Makurdi, the Benue State capital, reports that so far the rating of the performance of the governor is dominating group discussions across the state. Take a look.
Infrastructure, prompt payment of salaries and pensions for civil servants and pensioners are some of the issues some residents who speak to Trust TV point to in their positive assessment of the governor.
Score Governor Alia 100%, because without Father Alia, pensioners in Benue State would have gone beyond, because some of us are not feeling fine. We are on drugs. It was when Alia came that some of us survived. So I don't know what to say because I am overwhelmed. I pray that Governor Alia should continue with the spirit of what he's doing to Benue State workers and the pensioners and the development that is going on in Benue State.
I want to appreciate the Executive Governor of Benue State for what he has done so far. If you can see, he has completed already 15 roads, township roads. And then if you go to State Secretariat, you will not know where you are again.
He has started well. He's a good governor. He has started well, and we believe that he's going to make up everything well.
They have pointed some of the areas where the governor has performed below expectations and urge him to gear up going forward.
I also want to encourage him to sit up on the issue of security in our state.
Like me in West West, especially this road, Catholic to West, it's very difficult. Before you go there and come back, just come back with traces. It's not easy. Come back, they will be happy. If they will stop and select the one. Those ones living there, if they leave you alive, fine.
With the removal of fuel subsidy and its attendant hardship, they are hopeful that government's policies will be pro-people in order to enable them survive the biting economy. Jimmy Azandi, Trust TV News, Makurdi.
Thanks, Jimmy, for that report. Also, children and parents in Imo State are advocating for a memorable 2024 Children's Day celebration despite the current economic hardship. This call comes in response to some parents considering foregoing the celebrations to save money, which they argue would deprive children of the joy and significance of the day. Trust TV's Ajibade Praise tells us more.
Given the current economic challenges, many parents in Imo State are considering foregoing the Children's Day celebrations to save on expenses. Despite these concerns, some parents and children argue that the day is worth celebrating to its fullest, regardless of the financial difficulties. They believe that the Children's Day holds significant value and should not be discarded due to the economic constraints.
Regardless of the economy, it's just once a year. So regardless of the economy, it is something we still need to celebrate them. They deserve it. They deserve it because the economy will not remain like this forever.
Thank you. Yeah, I know things are hard now. Parents should try and make the children happy on their day. It's their day. That day is their day. That's why they call it Children's Day. To shop right, take them to amusement park for them to cheer up.
That children, they are going to have enough as an enjoyment. There are people who are going to take them to places like amusement park, shop right, and what have you, just to put smiles on their face, because with God all things are possible.
Despite economic challenges, children in Imo State have expressed their desires and expectation for a memorable Children's Day celebration. Speaking to Trust TV News, they emphasized the importance of the day and their hopes for a joyful and fulfilling experience.
No matter how hard the economy is, I still expect my mommy and my daddy to take me out tomorrow to celebrate the Children's Day. I would like to go to ShopRite and amusement park so that I can play with my fellow children. I want my mommy and my daddy to take me to amusement park. No matter how the economy is, I want them to take me to amusement park. This is what I want.
Parents to take good care of their children, no matter the circumstances, pay their bills, and also sometimes make them feel happy, enjoy life, because we have got them here. So we have to take care of them, no matter the circumstances we find ourselves. So I pray that God Almighty will also guide us and give us the courage in order to bear, no matter what will come. And I know that God will give us the money to take care of them.
As Children's Day approaches, children in Imo State remain hopeful that their parents will go all out to celebrate despite the nation's economic challenges. They look forward to a memorable celebration, expressing their desires and expectations for the important day. Ajibade Praise, Trust TV News, Owerri.
And residents of Imo State have rejected calls by the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra IPOB to shut down public institutions across the geopolitical zones in a bid to celebrate the Biafra Day on May 30th, 2024. Trust TV's Ajibade Praise once again brings details.
In Owerri, the Imo State capital, daily activities are going on without any interference. However, on a day where total shutdown is in effect, businesses as well as transporters withdraw their services completely, making the state look like a shadow of itself. The residents are saying they wouldn't want that to be the case come May 30th. Hence, they are rejecting in totality plans by the outlaw group to shut down business activities on that day.
Just relocated from Jos, and from where I was before, all these things, there's nothing like shutdown whenever anything is going. So it's somehow when we came back, that's when we start experiencing all this shutdown. So me, I don't really think it's wise. Because over there, they don't do that. They don't do that. From Monday to Sunday, here it's open, they're doing their business, everything is moving.
My advice is that they should not shut down everything. We should continue until the day they grant us. That's what I have for them.
Social activists, God-sent chillers, and others who bear their minds on the development said the call for shutdown of business activities in the name of marking Biafra Day is unconstitutional and unacceptable.
What we think in this case, there need to be, a political solution. The governors of the Southeast need to sit down and call the organizers of this restriction of movement on the May 30th to understand the economic implication and also the political implication. Because one, when you restrict movement, it's also possible that the region will miss billions of naira that would have been accrued as a tax for just that single day in the Southeast. So what the governors of the Southeast should do is to call them into their work and talk to them to understand the economic implication and then the security implication.
For me, as a person, I'm talking about my personality. I celebrate that statement silently and my family and my children. I try to talk to them about this. You can see the current dispensation, what is happening currently in Nigeria.
There are reports that the IPOB had written to the Nnamdi Azikiwe University, UNIZIK, and WAEC to postpone their activities on the set date, although the institution later denied doing so. Meanwhile, residents are hopeful that the day will come and go like any other day without any hitches. Ajibade Praise, Trust TV News, Owerri.
Thanks to Ajibade Praise for those reports. You're still watching the news hour on Trust TV. Now, away from the shores of Nigeria, Burkina Faso's military rulers will remain in power for another 5 years after national talks ended and agreeing to extend the transition back to democracy by 60 months from July, according to the text of an approved new charter. Colonel Musa Diallo, chairman of the organizing committee of the National Dialogue process, disclosed this after the talks on Saturday. The new charter was signed during what was originally a 2-day national dialogue that began earlier on Saturday, ostensibly to chart a way back to civilian rule in the country rocked by political violence. The military seized power in a 2022 coup and had promised to hold elections in July of this year to restore civilian rule, but it also said security consideration would take priority. The charter also allows Traoré to run for president when the elections take place. Under the new accord, quotas will also no longer be used to assign members of traditional party seats in the assembly. Instead, patriotism will be deemed the only criterion for selecting deputies. And more than 670 people are believed to be dead after a massive landslide in Papua New Guinea, a UN official said on Sunday as aid workers and villagers braved perilous conditions in their search for survivors. The once bustling hillside village of Enga province was almost completely obliterated when the landslide struck in the early hours of Friday morning, burying scores of homes and the people sleeping inside them. The unforgiving terrain, damaged roads, and an outbreak of tribal violence nearby have seriously hamstrung efforts to get help into the disaster zone. More than 2 days after the landslide rumbled down the face of Mount Mungalo, mud-caked villagers in bare feet are still searching for their loved ones using shovel, axes, among other equipment. Aid agencies and local leaders initially feared between 100 to 300 people had perished underneath the mud and rubble spanning almost 4 football fields in length. But the death toll grew after local leaders and disaster workers realized official figures underestimated the population. And in sports, Edo Queens have been confirmed champions of the 2023-2024 Nigeria Women Football League in Yenagoa, Bayelsa State. In the final showdown in the NWFL Super 6, Edo Queens drew 1-1 with Bayelsa Queens to emerge champions with 10 points for their maiden title. Rivers Angels' failure to beat Heartland Queens after it ended 1 apiece on the final day gave Moses Aduku's side the league title. And also, the Southampton has defeated Leeds United by a lone goal in the English Football League Championship playoff final. The highly anticipated match took place at the iconic Wembley Stadium In the tightly contested battle, Southampton emerged victorious, securing a 1-0 win over Leeds United. The decisive goal came from Adam Armstrong in the first half. Despite Leeds United dominating possession with 58%, they struggled to break through. Southampton's solid defence managing only 2 shots on target throughout the match. This triumph marked an immediate return to the top flight for Southampton, joining Leicester City and Ipswich Town in the Premier League for the upcoming 2024-2025 season. And the former chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Ibrahim Lamode, is dead. Lamode, a retired police officer, was said to have died after he battled an undisclosed illness. The retired Deputy Inspector General of Police died at the age of 61 in Egypt, where he was receiving medical treatment. A former EFCC official told Daily Trust on Sunday morning that his remains would be buried according to Islamic rites. And with that, we have come to the end of the news hour on Trust TV. Do not forget to follow us across all of our media platforms and join our YouTube live stream for more news programs and documentaries. My name is Sagir Ibrahim, and on behalf of the crew, have a good night.